So there was like a 760-point swing on the Dow today. When we woke up this morning, the whole world thought it was falling apart at the seams. Thankfully, we're back up. We finished probably positive 230 on the Dow. Brian Sozzi, our executive editor here, he's been working the phones all day. On the phone now, who are you talking to?
Facebook media call. Zuckerberg is under fire from reporters. Key questions for me. He says he was wrong for dismissing fake news as crazy. He's trying to sound, I think, very CEO-ish. He does say he's the best person to be running Facebook. He's not heard anybody pressuring him to drop the chairman position. Hoping to get a question in. I'm not feeling this call at all. I think this is still a company very much in turmoil. Gotta go.
And does he stay in his seat is the big question.
Right now, it sounds as if he's not even thinking about leaving the company.
Interesting. Huh. All right, we're going to stay on top of that. But the big story today, of course, was China and the tariffs and what the heck is going on with the trade war. Kinsey was covering it all day as well. We came in this morning thinking, oh my God, there was a list a mile long of the Chinese imposed tariffs, right? Everyone panicking, and now?
Wall Street was in a tizzy this morning, but I think it was largely overblown. I think the real concern here was uncertainty, not a $50 billion tariff from China or the $50 billion that the U.S. slapped on China last month. I really just think that, a $30 trillion stock market can handle $100 billion in a trade war. It's just that they didn't know where it was going. And obviously, as the president's troops kind of came out of the woodwork here to kind of quell those concerns and make everybody feel like everything's fine again, things got a little more normal and we ended in positive territory. So I think largely overblown, nothing really to worry about just yet.
I think Kinsey makes a great point too, because the other thing that we have to remember is that there's a 60-day grace period on all these tariffs, right? So China proposes this stuff. It doesn't actually mean it's going to happen. It's kind of like all these kids threatening each other in the playground. So you have to wait it out. I think the market got a huge sense that might not actually be so bad. Anders, though, was talking to all the auto companies today, which is really important to those of us that drive every day to work in and out of the city in like her car, right?
Yes, absolutely. And so because passenger vehicles were listed on the proposed China tariffs, we saw Ford and GM significantly down to start the day, but they rebounded during midday trading. And in fact, both companies are urging the two countries to resolve their differences. More specifically, GM says it wants both countries to engage in, quote, constructive dialogue and pursue sustainable trade policies. And we also looked at some other of the broader industrial groups. We heard from Deere as well as Dow and Dow DuPont. And you can find my full story on thestreet.com.
But I think you make a great point. Like, everyone just wants to settle this thing already.
Absolutely.
Like, stop the fighting.
Absolutely. They're waiting for a resolution.
It is a problem, though, and I think, and our Real Money columnists actually were talking about it all day long, and part of the problem that no one's really addressed yet is intellectual property. Where's our intellectual property going? Actually, Eric Johnson has a great column on the site everyone should read about how it's going to affect the supply chain, if it is at all. Read his column. All right, Jerry Kronenberg here, Real Money. What the hell happened today?
Oh man, we had an exciting day, didn't we? We went all the way from down 500 and the Dow and the world coming to an end to up 200. Just goes to show you, you've got to watch all the innings of the baseball game. We've got great columns to tell you what to do on our premium site, Real Money, which is realmoney.thestreet.com. Jim Cramer says cash is king until we see what goes on. Jonathan Heller, another one of our great columnists, talks about 3 great dividend stocks to own if you are a retiree. Hint. One is Coca-Cola.
And wait, Jerry, you guys were blogging all day today too, right?
Correct. We had a live blog, which you can still see on the street. We have it right here.
Because the columnists blog about this stuff all day long. They give you complete actionable advice. They're going to be covering it wall to wall. The street's going to be covering it wall to wall. So make sure you tune in. So we covered a ton of stuff today, but to wrap it all up and to really see a great visual, Scott Gamm and his charts is here to put a big red bow on the day for you.
All right, Tracy, thank you very much. Yeah, the Dow down almost 500 points at the open today before reversing and ending the session up 200 points, over 200 points. Now, the reversal was to the tune of 700 points in the Dow and came largely amid Trump administration officials like Larry Kudlow coming out and calming the market's fears of a trade war. Now, this is the second straight session of increases for stocks. Yesterday, the Dow rose almost 400 points. as investors realized that the reaction in the market on Monday was a bit overblown. Now, on Monday, the Dow fell 459 points. That was also because of trade worries. But in addition, the markets were worried about President Trump's repeated tweets against Amazon. And we know Amazon is a key stock in this market. So with the gains in the stock market today and yesterday, we have canceled out Monday's declines in the Dow. So that's a good sign for investors. But clearly the takeaway here is volatility is back and perhaps here to stay. Expect a host of price swings in the markets over the coming weeks. And of course, us at the Street will be following it throughout the week.